And hello everyone, welcome back to another Golang tutorial. So in this tutorial, we will be taking a look at constants. In the previous tutorial, we talked about variables. If you have not seen that tutorial yet, I do recommend you do, because constants will be building from variables. We already know a variable contains some data. It basically is like a box, and you can put something inside of that box that you can carry around with you wherever you need it, and then you can use the item in the box and just put it somewhere when you need it. Like this, my name is, and you pass in the variable instead of actually passing in a value like this. And I am, and then you pass in item inside of this variable. Yeah, so we already know that. We have covered that in the previous tutorial. Now, a constant is basically a variable. However, a constant cannot change. It is constant once you set it. So if I say here, var name is equal to that, and let's actually copy this. And in here I go name is equal to Nick. So here we set name to this, and in here we change name. So you change what is inside of name with Nick. You'll notice that if I were to run this, at first we get my name is that, and then my name is Nick. So we can change this halfway through the code if you want to. That's the nice thing about a variable, you can change it. However, you do not always want this. Sometimes you want your variables to not be able to change. There are some scenarios where that is very useful. So in that type of scenario, you would say const. What your constant is, its data type, if you want to put a data type there, and then that. And then once you have set it to this, you cannot change it. As you can see here, I get an error here because cannot assign to name, constant of type string. Meaning what's in here stays in there. You cannot remove it, you cannot change it. That is what is in there. So if I try and run this, I will get an error, of course, if I save. As you can see, because it cannot do that, because this is not allowed anymore. I can put age here and I can put a number here. That's perfectly fine. However, because this is a constant, you cannot do that with name. So if you run it, it works just like a normal variable. However, you cannot change it once you've set it. And as I said, this is optional. You could also do that, and it will automatically figure out that this is a string. So if we were to try to run this, it wouldn't give us any errors because this constant, or because Go is smart enough to figure this out on its own. Now, just like with variables, you could also do this like that, const, and then in brackets, you can declare a bunch of variables. For example, hello is equal to text or something, or test or whatnot, and then noob is equal to true, whatnot. And let's just remove that comment. So this is allowed, just like with variables. If this, you could have got variable here, and this would be allowed as well. Now, the nice thing about a constant is you can create something similar to an enum. For those of you who don't know what an enum is, you don't have to worry about it. We'll kind of be getting into it. So to do that, we can go here and create our const, and we can, let's say, do a is equal to iota. Now this right here will basically enumerate this constants. So we'll start at 0, and in every constant added, so a, b, b, c, d, like that, d. Okay, so there we go. If we set the first one to iota, then the rest will follow suit. So this will actually be 0 by default, then this will become 1, and this will become 2. So it will automatically increment with how you go down with variables. And we can actually print that. So let's go here and just print line, and let's just print out A, B, C, D. Now if we do that, and this should be if empty, so there we go. Now if we run that, we get 0, 1, 2, 3. So A would be 0, B would be 1, and so on and so forth. So that's very nice. You could also assign them to iota as well, if that's something you're into. You can do it with all of them. So if we do this, that's allowed. Now if we run it, we get the same output. But you only have to put it on the first one and it will work automatically. Now, what do you think will happen if we do this and we say 90? What would these become? Would it still start at 0 and then move its way up? Or would it be 91 and move its way up? I don't know. Let's see. It will start at 1 and move its way up. The reason for it is if we were to copy this and add another one, so just anything there, run it again, you'll notice now it starts at 2. So this iota is placed at the index of this right here. So this would be index 0. That's why this was 0. This would be index 1, index 2. So as you can see, there's 2. Index 3. So that would be 3. And if we were to remove this y, then index 0, index 1, as you can see here, 1, index 2, as you can see here, 2. And yet again, if we were to remove this x, this would be index 0. You see there, 0, then 1, 2, 3. So it basically works off of index. Now there's a lot of other cool tricks you can do with iota. For example, let's say c is equal to iota times 2. Let's see what will happen if we run this. We get 0, 1, 4, 6. So what happened here is we told C, so it's 0, 1, and then here, this would be 2. And we said 2 times 2. And that gave us 4. This one would have been iota, would have been 3. But because we set this here, and this would be the new pattern it follows, because we set it here, then this would be 3 times 2 as well. So this is the same as saying iota times 3. It follows, not times 3, times 2. It follows the same pattern. So once you set this, everything after it will follow the same pattern. Same with this. If you just set iota, everything will follow normal iota afterwards. You can even times iota with iota. And let's go D, E, no, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. And if you run it, then you get 0, 1, 4, 9, because 3 times 3 is 9, 16 because 4 times 4 is 16, 25 because 5 times 5 is 25. But of course, if you wanted to, you could just add another plus or something like that, like plus 3 or plus 4 or something to make it even more interesting. You get something like this then. And yeah, so that's the basics of that iota. You don't have to worry too much about it, but just know it exists and you can do some pretty cool things with it. You can also do like bit shifting with it, which we haven't really gotten into, but if you already know what it is, then you can do something like this. Iota. This is also allowed, so if you run it, you'll get this. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into bit shifting and stuff like that, because I think that could be its own video. That is all I wanted to talk about with constants. All you need to know is constants are constant and cannot be changed. So once you set a constant, it cannot be changed. Also, a thing to take note of, in a lot of programming languages, what you do is you'd say const, my const. You do this. And whilst this is okay, in Go. Remember from the previous tutorial, this right here will mean it's global scope, meaning this can be used outside of this package or outside of this file, and we don't want that. So when you create a constant, you just do it normally. So my const, like that. So nothing should be total capital case unless you actually plan on sending it outwards, because remember, first letter is very important, but too if you want to have it export or not. But yeah, that is all. Also, the other thing you need to just remember is that you can use iota, which will just work like an enum and increase the numbers as you set them. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next Golang tutorial.